Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing a video giving my thoughts, going to be answering your guys' questions leading up to the second last episode of Game of Thrones Season 6, Episode 9, The Battle of the Bastards. And spoiler warning if you're not caught up on Game of Thrones. So I wanted to do the first one this week. Definitely room for more. If you guys have any additional questions, send them to me. I've got a bunch, but I can add to it and kind of do a few videos this week leading up to episode 9 because this one is a big one. I mean, this is, like I said in my predictions video, this should be one of the absolute best episodes of any TV series ever. It should be one of the best of Game of Thrones, certainly, and has Game of Thrones being so amazing, one of the best overall. But I do feel like, and there's a few comments in here about season 6, and we'll get into that in a little bit, but I would agree that I don't think so far, now we're only 8 episodes in, so the 2 best are coming up right now, but I would say so far, season 6, I don't think it's the best season of Game of Thrones. If you compare it to all the previous seasons before, I don't think season 6 is the best right now. I would even say season 5 is probably better, maybe even season 4, but it's difficult to say because, of course, we still have 2 episodes left. So I'll definitely do some more, videos on that once the season finally wraps, and we'll have to see because a lot of Game of Thrones and how great a season is defined by the last 2 episodes a lot of the time. But certainly the first 8 of this season, even though we've had some really good ones. The last few, I'd say, have been good, but for Game of Thrones standards, kind of standard, nothing crazy. So yeah, first comment is from Adam Baker, and he says it would suck if Wun Wun dies. As far as I know, he's the last giant, and I think you're right about that, or at least in terms of what we see, it looks like he's pretty much the last giant. I mean, there may be some others out there north of the wall, that kind of deal, but in terms of like characters that are in the show, he's pretty much the last giant that we know of right now that we see around. So, but it'll be cool to see him in battle, that's for sure. But we do know that giants are not invulnerable. They can be taken down, but it should still be fun to kind of see how he fights and how he's able to aid in the battle. He should make a big difference in an open battlefield where he's got room to kind of grab some trees and smash dudes with them or something. I think like a Tauren in World of Warcraft or something, like grab a tree and just like throw it and so like smash it on some guys or something. I don't know, something like that should be fun. So I'm looking forward to some cool fight scenes from him, that's for sure, in next week's episode. And I hope he survives it, is what I'm saying. I think it'd be cool for Jon's forces to have at least one giant mixed in there. It kind of gives it some variety with the wildlings, and so they don't just have all these, general, troops lined up with spears and swords and shields. It's like, oh, there's a giant. Oh, shit. It's just fun to kind of see. Is that a giant? It's a giant. Next one's from Jay Donner, and he says, Episode 9 better be effing amazing because Episode 8 was the most underwhelming reveal episode from Thrones of all time. The Mountain kills only one fanatic, and it's not Lancel. The Hound kills a couple of boy band members and then just hangs out with Beric, not Lady Stoneheart. Riverrun's siege lasts 2 seconds, with the only death being the Blackfish, who dies off screen. Arya is still just Arya, and her internally bleeding wounds are basically fine. No ulterior motives or characters in her place. No ulterior hidden agendas. No good reveals whatsoever. The fans of Game of Thrones are much better writers of Game of Thrones than the writers of Game of Thrones this season, I tell you. I'm feeling truly let down, and listening to the preview for next episode, I'm almost fearing they'll not even have a battle in the Battle of the Bastards and simply have a one-on-one combat that is over with one swing. That's seriously how bad these reveals have been this season. So I wanted to include this one from Jay Donner because I do feel like I was saying, that, and this is kind of what sparked my thought on this, is that I don't, at this point, I haven't said, and I usually do with Game of Thrones, that this is like the best season ever. With Season 6, I haven't really said that yet, but we'll see after Episode 9 what they've got for us. I don't think that you're right about it being a one-on-one between Ramsay and Jon. I mean, if you look at the promo, you can kind of see it looks like all the hell's breaking loose. So it doesn't look like it'd just be one-on-one with them, or that it'll be one swing. But I understand where he's coming from for sure. And Definitely with episode 8. I do agree with you for the most part. I will say though, I thought that the final battle with Arya was pretty awesome. But again, it would have been cool to see it, like the lights go out, that kind of stuff. And she didn't deliver the line, not today. Like that's crucial to me, because it brings it back, like even just a quick mention, because it brings it back to the beginning of the show, like when she's being trained and everything, and her master is killed. And, what do we say to the god of death? Not today. It just would have been... It would have been really cool, to see that. But that said, it was still pretty impressive and kind of a reveal that you see the face there, and it's the waifs. It's not Arya. So that's kind of how they did it. But I would like to see some slow-mo fights. Like I would have really liked to see them, slow-mo, slow down. The lights go out. You hear something, flicker, 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 something like this, and then you hear her scream or something, or you see a dagger, like a flicker of light or something, so maybe the candle falls off and it's like lighting sideways or something, so you just see shadows. I don't know. They could have done some cool stuff with that, but they didn't really. They showed it again off screen. Same with the Blackfish, and I think it would have been cool to see him fighting down his last thing. It's like if you look at the Red Wedding or you look at the Purple Wedding, you get to see the actual. They don't just pass over it. You get to see Rob and you get to see Kat and everything. And it's brutal and it's crazy to see it and everything. But I just feel like some of these important characters that are still around now, or characters that have been set up for a couple seasons, it would be cool to see, the actual fight sequences where they're killed off rather than having it off screen. And the other thing with Lady Stoneheart, I was hoping we would see her eventually, but it looks like this time it's pretty much guaranteed, unless they throw some kind of huge twist that we don't expect. Someone said that when Sandor was taking a leak in the water, that they expected her to come up or something. I almost thought like something like that too. I'm not sure if that's supposed to be like, I don't know, like is it him doing that? He's just part of the conversation, or is that like showing that they're not going to do that? There's water there and she's not there. I don't know. I guess it's just probably part of the scene. But it seems like she won't be coming. And then there's been a lot of that this season. You look at the last few episodes. We expect to see Jaime against the High Sparrow and some kind of crazy thing. We don't expect to see Tom and say no trial by combat. So there's been season 6 has had quite a few moments like that throughout the season where. But then again, they've done some cool stuff where they brought the Hound back, and we don't know what they're going to do with him. If he's going to join the Brotherhood without banners, I mean, that's weird for the character, right? Like that's something. But if we're not going to see a trial by combat with him involved or the Mountain involved, then what will he do with them? Will they join Jon or something? That's weird, It's but he is, I think, a worthy point of view character, and he's pretty funny, and he's got a lot of interesting things to say and awesome fight sequences. So it is what it is. But I've enjoyed the season. I haven't been, complaining about it or anything like that. But definitely, I see where you're coming from, Jay Donner. That to episode 8, the season's almost done is the thing. But once it is, we'll be able to kind of look back on it better and break it down better. But I do think that even though they put the most money into season 6. Maybe it's not the best season though, which is, it depends on the story too, right? It's not all about how much money you put into something. It can be the finesse of how it's done, cinematography, everything like that. It can have a huge effect. So, but the big ones are coming. The big 2 are coming up. So, and they're extended episodes also. So, heads up, it should be pretty great. Maybe we're judging it too soon, so we'll see. Next one's from David Beal, and he says, the guy that brought Rickon Stark to Ramsay will turn on him. His house was always loyal to Stark, and giving Rickon was only provoking the battle. The letter that he faked to Sansa only endured it would happen because he knows the dead are coming. So, that's interesting. So that's something I have heard a few people see or say, and I've seen some comments and things like that about that, is that the Umbers may turn on Ramsay. Like they don't like him. They make it known that they don't like him, and that they're doing what they have to do. But given the right opportunity, could we see the battle going down, Ramsay standing there, and then them sort of turn flank and then attack in or something against Ramsay? That could be interesting if we could see something like that. So I hope so. I hope that's what happens. Either that or the Vale will probably come marching in, at the side or something, and flying in on horseback or something. It would be cool. So either way, it should be an amazing sequence. I can't wait to see it. But I like your prediction, and I would like to see it. I'm not opposed to it. It could go that way, but there's no way for us to say for sure at this point, I think. But either way, I think Rickon is, I think he's dead. And that's what MVP Curry30 says. Rickon is definitely going to die in this episode. I'm calling it. Glemp IDM said, I believe one of the fired X's on the battlefield is flayed Rickon. So, man, that's crazy. And I agree. Just because he's in Ramsay's clutches, yeah, the odds of him making it out alive, are probably not very good. I would think he'll probably be dead too. And also, people said, like, if you look at John's face in the promo, it looks like Ramsay is talking some mad shit or something. So he doesn't look too happy. So yeah, that definitely wouldn't surprise me if we saw that. Bones says, I would think it would be pointless to bring John back and have him defeated a few episodes later. Although I do not see Davos making it out alive this season. Oh man, you don't see Davos making it. I hope Davos makes it, man. He's one of my favorite characters at this point, I think. And I think, I'd like to think he will. I could be wrong. You may be right, Bones, but I think Davos will make it, and I think John will make it too. But I don't think Rickon will. It's just me saying. The MMO bro says, yeah, but 8 boring episodes for 1 or 2 good ones. Battle of Blackwater was amazing, and Season 2 had more action overall. Yeah, you'd have to compare. It's hard to say sometimes. Sometimes it seems like that, but you'd have to go over the episodes. But maybe you're right. Maybe Season 2 did have more action overall. I'm not sure. It's kind of difficult to say. Certainly whenever Sandor's involved, the Hound is involved, there's lots of action, which is fun. Cheryl C., this will be the last one for this video. She says, you're shit at dying, you know that, in quotes. Please give Sandor his own effing show. The man is a walking, talking entertainment. I agree with you, Cheryl. He's really funny, and I forgot to mention that in my my review of just how brilliant that line is. You're shit at dying, you know that? It's just so funny because it's like because he's swearing at him and stuff, calling him names and stuff, and it's like, this is your last moment, and you're gonna die right now one way or another. And I'm sure the Hound has seen many people die at his hands. He's killed many people, and at this point he's able to break down. He's able to say, okay, that was pretty good death. They said their last words, they were at peace, and then they went. But the ones that are not good at dying, the ones that are like still fighting, trying to frustratingly control their fate, even though they're about to die, and they can't even accept the fact. So it's like, yeah, you're crap at you're totally crap. You're not even at peace in your last moment. So you're just not. It's like you say, you're just not good at anything. You're not even gonna die. You just suck. You just suck at life. Period. He's pretty awesome, man. He's one of my favorite characters for sure. Which is weird because in like the first season or two, especially when we first meet him, and he's got the Hound's helmet, and he's like, he's all like hardcore and stuff. I didn't like him at the beginning, but in the series now, I certainly do. And that'll be it for today's Q&A, guys. Send me the rest of the questions you have for the rest of this week, because there'll be time for lots of them. Yeah, I can't wait to see episode 9, man. I'm just so excited for it. I'm just buzzing. I wish I could fast forward time to see it. Anyway, that's it for this video. If you guys liked it, please thumb it up below. You can share and favorite it. And if you're new and you want to subscribe, please subscribe at the bottom left. That's it for this one. See you guys again real soon. As always, it's Trev. I'm saying peace. Later, guys. See ya. You better subscribe.